There's something quietly devastating about a familiar face disappearing from view. Not dramatically, not with a public statement or a tearful goodbye. Just gone, withdrawn, the curtains drawn, the door closed, the world carrying on outside while someone inside tries to figure out how to carry on at all. And for many people who've followed Eamonn Holmes across decades of British television, through the morning sofa years, through the laughter and the live moments and everything in between, the reports emerging about his life since separating from Ruth Langsford have stirred something that goes well beyond ordinary celebrity news. Because this isn't just a tabloid story. For a significant portion of the British viewing public, Eamonn and Ruth weren't simply presenters. They were a fixture, a constant, the kind of faces you'd see before the school run, before work, before the day had properly started, and there was something genuinely comforting about the fact that they were always there, together, doing what they did. When that ended, many viewers felt a personal shift they probably couldn't fully explain. And now, the details emerging paint a picture that's hard to sit with. Barely eating, barely sleeping, barely leaving his new home. Those three details, taken together, tell a story that words alone struggle to contain. There's a particular kind of grief that looks like stillness from the outside, not weeping, not visible collapse, but a quiet withdrawal from the rhythms that used to structure life. People who've been through serious heartbreak, or those who've watched someone they love move through it, will recognize something in those three phrases. It's not drama, it's exhaustion, it's the weight of a life fundamentally changed sitting on your chest while the world continues to turn at its usual pace. And the world, of course, has continued turning. The television schedules haven't stopped. Ruth has been seen out. Life, publicly at least, appears to be moving. But for Eamonn, in that new home, a space that presumably has none of the accumulated warmth of a shared life, none of the furniture chosen together, none of the small domestic history that makes a house feel inhabited, the days seem to have blurred into something shapeless. Some viewers following these developments have described feeling genuinely worried, not in a performative celebrity gossip way, but in the way you might worry about someone real. Someone you feel, however irrationally, that you know. That's the strange intimacy of morning television, isn't it? It enters your home at its most unguarded hour. You're still in your dressing gown. You haven't fully assembled yourself for the day yet. And the people on screen become, through sheer repetition and proximity, oddly familiar. Eamonn Holmes spent years being that kind of presence, warm, sharp, occasionally infuriating in the way that only someone genuinely present can be. He wasn't a distant figure behind a news desk. He was on the sofa, leaning forward, reacting, making Ruth laugh or roll her eyes. Being human, live, in your living room. So when human things happen to him, painful, private, complicated human things, the reaction isn't purely voyeuristic. For many people, it feels closer than that. There's also something worth sitting with about the specific texture of this kind of heartbreak when you're not young. When a relationship that has spanned decades ends, you're not just losing a partner. You're losing a version of yourself. The self that existed inside that relationship. The routines, the rhythms, the shared language, the particular way another person has witnessed your life. When that goes, especially at a point in life when you'd perhaps assumed the difficult chapters of uncertainty were behind you, the disorientation can be profound in ways that are hard to articulate even to those closest to you. It almost seems as though what's being described isn't simply sadness but a kind of suspension. A life paused at the moment of rupture, unsure how to begin its next sentence. Some audiences observing these reports have noted that what makes this feel particularly resonant is that Eamonn has always projected a certain robustness on screen. An Irishman's stubborn warmth, a presenter's professional armor. Watching someone like that be quietly undone by grief, not performing it, not narrating it for cameras, but simply living it in a new home on a quiet street somewhere, carries a weight that polished celebrity heartbreak stories rarely do. This doesn't feel curated, it feels real, and perhaps that's precisely why people have found it difficult to simply scroll past. There's also, it has to be said, The question of what healing looks like from here. Not in a prescriptive sense. Nobody watching from the outside can know what Eamonn needs or what his days actually contain. But many viewers have expressed, online and in conversation, a quiet hope. A hope that the stillness is temporary. That the not eating and not sleeping and not leaving represent a chapter, not a destination. That the man who made so many early mornings feel a little warmer might, eventually, find something that does the same for him. Because that's ultimately what this stirs in people who've followed him. Not pity, exactly, and not prurient fascination, but something closer to genuine human concern. The kind you feel for a friend of a friend. Someone adjacent to your life who you've never met but somehow, inexplicably, care about. Maybe that's the strangest gift and burden of a career spent in people's homes. The connection is entirely one-directional, and yet it doesn't feel that way. You gave something to all those mornings. And now, watching from a distance as you navigate one of the harder chapters, people find themselves wanting to give something back, even if the only thing available to them is a moment of genuine feeling on your behalf. And sometimes, perhaps,